When people feel overwhelmed by clutter, their first reaction is to declutter faster, get more organized, do it all in one day, spend the whole weekend organizing and decluttering. But in reality, that is like the wrong approach. If you're overwhelmed by cluttering, the goal isn't to do more. It's to make the process feel more manageable. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Jen. Today we're going to talk about decluttering when you're overwhelmed. If you've ever looked around your home and thought, I don't even know where to begin, good news is you're not alone. I get that feeling even as much as I declutter and then do like decluttering days or whatever. I still get that overwhelmed feeling when I don't even know where to begin. And that's it's not because you're lazy or because you don't care or anything like that. It's because the task is so large, your brain shuts down. Today, I'm going to share some things that help me to declutter when things get overwhelming. The first thing that I do is to try to stop thinking about the whole house and make a smaller area, make it more manageable. My brain's go-to is I need to declutter this room, I need to declutter that room, I need to do this area, that area. And it gets extremely overwhelming when you start looking at things like this. But what the best thing is that works for me is to minimize it down to one specific area, either one room or one particular shelf, one part of a room. I shared in a prior video that I being I shouldn't say when I started on this journey, but when I picked up this journey where I was left off at that point in time, it was so overwhelming that I decided I was going to do one half of my closet and then let the momentum take over. The next thing I try to do is lower the bar. And this means when we first start to declutter, we think we have to go harder. We have to set unrealistic expectations. We need so many hours to declutter, so much of this, so much of that. We need the perfect this, endless motivation. When in reality, it's your energy is going to run out when your brain's spinning like that. What you really want to do is lower the bar, make it I'm going to declutter for 5 minutes. I'm going to declutter 5 items. I am going to walk around for 10 minutes. I'm going to declutter this area for 5 minutes. You need to lower the bar so that your brain doesn't spin out of control into an overwhelming, endless cycle of more, more, more. What you need to do is just, I'm going to declutter this one shelf for 5 minutes. Some days success might look like removing 5 items. And remember, progress counts even if it's small. Start with easy items. That is the next thing that I do. And when I say easy items, I don't start with the hardest categories. I don't start with family heirlooms, sentimental keepsakes, all kinds of things, old photographs. I have a box of old photographs that are just sitting in a box. I don't even want to go there. That becomes just so overwhelming to even just go through a box with just piles of photographs in it. It just makes my head hurt to even think about that. So what I'm talking about when I say start with easy items, I'm talking about, expired products. So you go through your fridge and pull out condiments that are expired and or bad, something like that. Um, go through areas where you can find expired products. Do you have medications that are expired, such as like vitamins or aspirins, things like that? Look at things that are expired. Those are easy chuck. Broken items are another easy item to start out with. If it's broken, throw it away. Duplicate tools, say you have a bunch of random things sitting around that do the same thing. Pick out one that you like least and chuck it. Empty boxes, old paperwork. I have a ton of empty boxes, old paperwork sitting around. You only need to keep that stuff around for a short period of time, unless it's something like your tax returns, which you should keep around for 7 years. Random receipts, that's my biggest downfall, is random receipts and mail that comes into the house that I don't even open half the time. I know it's junk mail and it just sits there. Those are easy. Get rid of them. When you start with easy things, then that builds up your confidence because you see easy wins. Another thing that I like to do is um, focus on visible wins. So that means something that's visible to you. So cleaning a countertop, emptying out a chair that has stuff sitting on it. Something that you visually see on a regular basis. I have a coffee table over there that I recently cleaned a bunch of stuff off of. It's out in the open, it's visible, and start with something like that and just make it simple, and that'll be an easy visible win for you to see. And once you see the difference in clearing off an easy visible space, that'll create motivation to continue on to other places. One of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that when they start, they have to do it until they finish everything. But I'm going to tell you to give yourself permission to take a pause. This means that it's okay to stop. It's okay to not finish everything all in one day. It's okay to continue tomorrow or next week. It's, just start and do a little bit, and don't overwhelm yourself thinking that you have to do it all in one day, all in one weekend. Give yourself permission to pause. Give yourself permission to stop and then restart another time. The main thing to remember is that decluttering is not an emergency. It's a skill that you need to build, and it's like a muscle that you need to build. Once you start getting your momentum and you get better at it, you'll get better and better over time. But it's not an emergency, and it's not something that you have to do all of it today. Another thing that I like to do is try to remember what I'm looking toward. So when I'm decluttering and it begins to get overwhelming, I try to stop focusing on what I'm trying to get rid of, but then focus on what I'm creating. And that would be more peace. When I clean off that table over there, it just gives me more peace. That's what I'm focusing on. Less stress. Focus on what is going to support your life. The goal is to not have a perfect house, but to have what you envision. So, more peace when you clean off that table, less stress, easier cleaning and maintaining of your space, and more breathing room. The final thing that I try to remember when I am getting overwhelmed with decluttering is to be kind to myself. A lot of us are harder on ourselves than we really should be, and I am like the poster child for being hard on myself. I should have done this sooner. Why did I let it get so bad? Why can't I stay organized? But then I stop and think, you know, shaming yourself does not help you declutter, and it makes you avoid it more. It makes the task seem harder. Focus on the small wins and be kind to yourself. Getting rid of something you've held on to for, say, 20 years is not an easy task. You've looked at that item every day, you've loved that item, maybe now you hate that item. You know, homes get messy, life gets in the way. Remember that. Stuff accumulates, and sometimes it's just best to sit there and think, okay, I'm doing the best I can. If you're feeling overwhelmed with clutter right now, I want you to remember some of these things. You don't need to declutter your house entirely today. You don't need to become a minimalist. You don't need the perfect plan. Just start somewhere small. One drawer, one shelf, one box. I'd love to know in the comments below what part of your house feels overwhelming to you. What do you struggle with as far as overwhelm when you try to declutter? What kind of tips do you guys have? If you enjoy conversations about decluttering, frugal lifestyle, intentional spending, and simplifying life, I would love to have you subscribe. I thank you for hanging out with me today. I'll see you guys in the next one.